So today, this video is about writing equations in slope-intercept form using the point-slope formula. But first, let's practice finding slope between 2 points. So remember, to find slope between 2 points, you're using this formula. So the first thing you have to do, so let's do number 1 first, is label x1, y1, x2, y2. And then we're going to plug into the formula. So the slope equals, remember you always have your minus signs. So y2 comes first, so 9 minus 3 and 4 minus 2. So that's going to be 6 over 2, which is going to equal a 3. Go ahead and pause this video, and I want you guys to try number 3. You try number 3. Okay, so you should have paused this video by now, and you should have done x1, y1, x2, y2. And that's what your fraction should look like before you do any math. Then you're going to do 2 minus 2, which is 0. Negative 8 minus 5 gives you a negative 13. Well, 0 divided by negative 13 gives you a final answer of 0. If you're unsure if it's 0 or undefined, type it into your calculator. When I type this fraction into my calculator, it gives me an output of a 0. If it was undefined, your calculator will tell you, it'll come up with a message saying divide by 0 error. So let's go on to the notes today. So for whenever we write and are graphing lines, it's always in this form. Y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. So hopefully between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's worksheets, you're getting better at how to find it, how to graph it, and how to get y equals equations. Today, it's going to be a little different. So today we're using the point slope form, which means we need a point and we need a slope. And so for all the examples we're going to do today, I'm going to give you a point and I'm going to give you the slope. And then we're just going to use this formula. So the very first step you want to do is label your point x1, y1. I need my x1, my y1, and my slope all for this equation. So now that I have my stuff labeled, I'm going to plug into this formula. So in this formula, there's a couple things we're plugging in. We're plugging in y1, the slope, and x1. This y and this x right here are going to just stay letters. They're just going to stay y and stay x. So the following formula goes y minus, then you plug your y1 in, negative 2, equals, my slope is m, so negative 3, parenthesis, x minus x1 is 7. And then we're going to simplify some. Right here, these two minus signs will make a plus. So y plus 2 is going to equal, and I need to distribute right here. So negative 3x plus 21. So my last step is to get y by itself. So I need to move this 2 to the other side. Make sure when you're subtracting that you are subtracting from the number and not from the x. So this ends up being y equals negative 3x plus 19. Okay, let's try example number 2. Example number 2. Again, we need x1, y1, and we have our slope. So the formula we're using is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And you do not have to memorize this because it is given to you on the end of course formula sheet. You just have to know how to use it. So y minus y1 is right here. So that's going to be 7. And let's make sure it's 7, not negative 7. Yep, 7. Okay, and equals, my slope is right here, 2 x minus, and my x1 is right here, so x minus a negative 13. So y minus 7 is just going to stay y minus 7. This right side you have to distribute, but before I distribute, notice how I have these two minus signs. So I'm going to go ahead and let me just rewrite that to make that, no, I just wrote plus 2, to make that a plus 13. Now I can distribute. So y minus 7 equals 2x plus 26. Last step, add 7 to both sides. So y is going to equal 2x plus 33. So this was all example number 2. So given this point and that slope, I was able to find out the equation of that line. Okay, you guys go ahead and try example number 3. You try example number 3. And then if you're feeling up to it, also try example number 4. Okay, so we're using point slope form. I'm given a point and I'm given a slope. So I'm going to substitute in what I know. So remember, I'm plugging in y1, m, and x1. So I'm going to do y minus negative 7 equals 10 times x minus negative 5. So I need to simplify this because there's lots of negatives going on. So y plus 7 equals 10 times x plus 5. Remember, this formula, it's always minus signs between the y's and between the x's. That's never going to change. Okay, once I've done that, my next step is to go ahead and distribute because I need to get y by itself. Remember, we're always going back to y equals mx plus b. So I have to distribute. And then my last step is to move this 7 to the right side by subtracting 7. And that's my final answer. Okay, the next one might look a little scary because it has a fraction, but it's really not bad. You're doing the same thing. So y minus 9 equals 1/4 x minus 8. You're just plugging in what you know. I know y1, I know m, and I know x1. All of that is given right here. So once I do that, you plug your stuff in first. Your next step is to always distribute. So you're distributing right here. So that's going to be a 1/4 x, and a 1/4 times a negative 8 should give you a negative 2. If you're not sure, use your calculator. So then your last step is to go ahead and add this 9 so you get y by itself. So your final answer is y equals 1/4 x plus 7. Okay, here's your last two examples. I want you guys to try example 5 and 6. You try both of these. Remember, first you're labeling x1, y1. Second, you're plugging in. Third, you are simplifying. And distributing. And fourth, we want it to be y equals mx plus b. So go ahead and pause this video and try example 5 and 6, and then check your answers. So just by plugging in, you should have equations that look like this, and then you need to simplify. So when you simplify example 6 by distributing, you're already done. Example 5, you're almost done. So the last step is to subtract 5 on both sides. So y equals 4x minus 5.